Good morning. You're tuned into Radio 250 Reasons. Later on in the show, we've got a lovely opinion piece on this film that we're about to watch, and also some explicit language. So you young kids, you better watch out. And also, we've got a lot of spoilers. So hang around, chicks, and we'll go for a wonderful ride. Stay tuned.
Welcome to 250 Reasons to Stay Indoors. I'm Jordan.
I'm Keiran.
And today we're going to be watching Logan. Keiran, what did you think of the film? Oh, wait, sorry. Sum up the film in 15 seconds, starting from now.
Wolverine has to save a kid who ends up being his daughter, and he takes her, this mini Wolverine, all the way up to somewhere, North Dakota, and they run away. He dies, Professor X dies, and the kids run away.
Wow, I wasn't using a real clock.
I'm pretty sure that was probably underneath 15 seconds.
I think it probably was.
I
kind of regret that now. I kind of wish I did time it.
Well, the cool thing about recording this in Logic is that we can check that.
Yeah, listeners, wait for 1 second and you're going to find out just exactly how long that was, as if I just knew off the top of my head. And I can tell you for a fact, Keiran, that you spoke for exactly 18 seconds.
No, I messed that one up.
Yeah, you just ballsed it up. No.
Should I try again or...
No, that's too late now.
No.
That's just an unfinished story.
Okay.
You have to, let's please disregard the last 3 seconds of what Keiran said there.
Well, at least there's no spoilers, because I think I got through the biggest spoilers at the end of that film.
I don't think I actually listened to what you said, because I was just so focused on doing that little ticking noise, and then I started panicking about not actually timing it, so I didn't listen. But I'll catch you back on the edit. Okay. So what did you think of the film?
I thought it was all right. I thought it was fine. I want to preface this discussion by saying I don't know anything about X-Men, and they're fine. The X-Men, they're all right. I think Wolverine, because let's be straight, let's not call him Logan. His name is Wolverine. At no point in my very limited knowledge of X-Men is it ever discussed that his name is Logan, because they would have said, people were talking about X-Men probably would have said, oh, Logan, I mean Wolverine, or they would have said Wolverine, oh, I mean Logan. No, it's just kind of,
Wolverine, I mean Logan.
So Professor X, who they're now calling Charles, because obviously they want to be, Professor X. He's absolutely redundant in this film.
I don't think he's redundant. He's quite a strong plot point.
Well,
wait, no. Let me preface as well. Preface. Let me preface. A lot of my, I'm going to be spouting out a lot of second-hand comic book knowledge from when I've spent many hours in bed at night just listening to watching YouTube videos of people talking about comic. I've never read a comic book, but I've watched a lot of videos about comic books.
Okay.
In terms of, watching the film and then watching some sort of spotty man talk about it in depth and how it relates to the comic book.
I think that's probably as good as you can get, because when you watch people talking about football, you pretty much get the idea of what the football game was like.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I'm basically an expert.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got that field covered.
Right.
So, I mean, you haven't, because we discussed this earlier, you haven't actually watched any of the other X-Men films, have you?
No.
So that was the question I wanted to pose to you. Do you think that was, being a person who's never watched any X-Men films, just going into it, was that an okay standalone film? Were you okay watching that just on its own?
I wouldn't have understood at all what Charles Xavier's use was in that film. Or just in the whole, why is he even there? Because I wouldn't have understood why they were looking after this old man. Why an albino Stephen Merchant man was looking after Professor Xavier. Or kind of Stephen Merchant.
Yeah, they threw in a little plot twist there, didn't they? It's like, I know you've got the cue ball hidden up in the south of the border, and it's like, Oh, but which cue ball? Is this the cue ball? Because Stephen Merchant was bald, and that's the first person you see, and it's like, that's the person. Oh, wait, but is that the person?
Wait, what do you mean by the cue ball?
So the guy, the robot arm man, the Reaver man, when he first goes, I know you've got the cue ball locked away south of the border. Did you catch that?
Right.
He basically tells Logan, like, when the first time he meets him, and he's just like kind of threatening him. He's like, I know you've got this guy. And he's obviously referring to Charles, who is, because he's usually bald. That's kind of the thing. But then the first person you see south of the border is Caliban,
right?
Stephen Merchant, and he's bald. So,
okay.
Wow, that was a bit of a tangent and uninteresting, but that was just something.
No, I get it. I appreciate that. So, I don't think I would have understood what Caliban was about. I wouldn't have.
No, they didn't really explain it too.
I mean, I don't really know anything about Caliban. So he's just some guy who's looking after Professor X at this moment. But I wouldn't have understood who Professor X was about, but then the rest of it is pretty simple to grasp. Like they're running away from some people who want to steal Laura, who is a girl that has the same powers as Wolverine. Wolverine doesn't want to admit that this girl is his daughter, even though he's been told that this girl is his daughter. By the end of the film, he's so attached to her that he's really, really sad when he dies and she goes off with all of the rest, all of the other kids.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying, where do you stand on that in terms of, does that make him the father? This is probably quite a relevant sort of world topic. Like,
how does it make him the father?
So if someone's taken your, I guess it's the nature and nurture sort of debate, isn't it? Almost in terms of, so if someone took your DNA, your genes, put them in a woman, and then a baby was born, you consider yourself the father of that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because the only thing that stopped me from being more of a father, I guess, in that kind of argument, is me jizzing in that woman.
Yeah.
Is me fucking that woman.
I guess.
And jizzing in her. To say it very poetically. So.
Very poetic.
I mean, the most poetically. So, I think in all other intents and
purpose.
There you go.
Yeah.
In all other intents and purposes.
Saving you.
of that, that situation, I'm totally the dad. So, Logan, Wolverine, is absolutely this girl's dad.
Yeah. I disagree.
All right, well, what's your...
I just don't think that makes him a dad, It's like he said, he's like, I literally met you like last week.
You nearly turned Italian man, by the way. I just don't think that makes him a dad, Anyway.
It doesn't make him a dad, does it? Like, he's only known her for a week. Like, just because she shares the same genes with him, I just don't think that makes him, nah.
Okay, it would also back up your argument, the fact that he is a horrific dad. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah. I would not want to be his child.
All right, so let's.
Other than the added perks of being like having regenerative. No, I'm not getting it. I'm just going to move past. Having stuff come back.
Yeah.
And claws. That'd be sick.
Not just in her hands, but also in her feet.
That's
pretty cool.
She is a female, and females have the defensive, as Charles was saying, the defensive purposes.
Oh,
and that's why they got the feet things.
Oh, so that's
Did you
what
miss
that conversation. Because I just heard that conversation and
Logan.
I thought he was just chatting shit. I thought he was just being like, "Did you know?"
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's arguable that Charles was pretty much just chatting shit throughout the whole thing.
All right. Okay. So let's talk a bit more about how Logan is a terrible father. First of all, raging alcoholic.
Yeah.
Second of all, swears all the time when Laura's around. Completely self-abusive, as in doesn't want to heal himself at all.
No.
Doesn't show love or affection in any way. In fact, refuses to admit that he's sad when she holds his wrist.
Oh yeah, that was harsh.
That was really harsh.
That moment hurt me.
Yeah, that was.
But she came through for him in the end with the car there as well. And then he said thank you, and then she started talking.
Yeah, and went crazy. So okay, at least 4 reasons that he's a terrible dad.
Yeah.
And
I bet he didn't even ask when her birthday was.
Oh, doesn't even care.
No.
Doesn't even
Got
care.
a lot of catching up to do, and now he's dead. So
Mm.
that's not happening.
Yeah. Did we go through the film?
I thought that's what we were doing.
Well, we didn't really start at the start.
No, we didn't. My first note is the Chrysler looks pretty dank.
Yeah, Dan Chrysler.
Yeah, I like
cool.
that car. It's futuristic. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, my first observation was that it was quite gory.
See, I actually really liked that. Obviously, you haven't seen the other X-Men films, and I think it was a decision made after Deadpool, because Deadpool is also owned by Fox. And yeah, in terms of the Marvel sort of cinematic universe, you've got Sony.
Wait, X-Men is Marvel?
Yeah, there was the big Marvel bit at the start of the film.
Must have missed
Yeah,
that.
okay.
I thought it might have been not.
Who did you think it was? Did you think it was a standalone thing?
No, I thought it was DC, but I was kind of guessing.
We're going to get some comments about that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, no, it's...
Shows you how much I know.
No, yeah, it's fair. When it comes to these ones, I'm just going to be like reeling off my comic book knowledge. But
okay.
So you've got X-Men is Fox. You've also got Sony, which was Spider-Man. That's why Spider-Man's only just recently appeared in Civil War, because they only just recently got the rights to put him in. And then you've got the other one. I've forgotten what it is. Maybe I'll edit it and pretend that I knew what it was in the first place. But I can't remember what it was. But there's another one. I could see.
Why isn't another big company?
Yeah, there's Fox, Sony, Universal,
Maybe. HBO, CNN.
HBO, yeah. There's this. They all came together.
BBC.
HBO, CNN, ABC, BBC, CBBC.
CBBS. Mr. Tumble there.
Yeah, Mr. Tumble.
Mr. Tumble.
Mr. Tumnus?
Mr. Tumble. No, Mr. Tumnus is whoa, we've got.
Who's Mr. Tumble?
Mr. Tumble is that guy from CBBS.
CBBC or CBBS?
No, CBBS.
Oh, CBBS. They hadn't anything to do with that.
Okay, now Mr. Tumble is some character from CBBS who not only does his show on CBBS, but he's also got a stage show. He's got loads of books.
You're a bit of a fan, aren't you?
He is. I'm serious.
You want to be Mrs. Tumble.
Or Mr. Tumble, thank you very much.
Yeah, but I just always imagined you sort of having some sort of sex change in that situation.
I mean, for Mr. Tumble, anything.
Yeah.
But Mr. Tumnus is a different guy. He's the Fawn from Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe.
He's the Form. The Thorn, yeah.
Thorn.
Okay. Yeah, no, I know. That's why I said I thought you got it wrong. So Mr. Tumble.
Yeah, so Mr. Tumnus owns... Which one? Thor?
Yeah. Thor?
Well, you said there was a third one.
No, there is a third one, yeah. Oh, yeah, so yeah, that's like Avengers and Iron Man and Captain America.
Oh, those big
Basically
ones.
the bigger ones. And then
Right.
X-Men has just been separate by Fox. And basically Deadpool is part of the X-Men universe. Because Deadpool he's actually in one of the what one is it? Is it Wolverine Origins? X-Men Origins is a story about more behind like Wolverine, because they just love Wolverine. Apparently people love Wolverine. And Ryan Reynolds, who plays Deadpool in the Deadpool movie, is in that film, and he is also made into Deadpool in that film, but like some weird crappy version that's just all wrong, and it like he doesn't have a mouth, and it's like he talks. That's kind of part of Deadpool's thing. It was weird. So Deadpool's by Fox. Back to my original point. When Deadpool came out and it was so successful, that was more gory. So they I think they decided to make a turn to sort of go towards that end because it was having a better response. But I mean, the rest of the X-Men films are just like, I don't think anyone has any idea what's going on there in terms of the timeline and stuff like that. It just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so Logan's quite gory.
You didn't like that? You're not a massive fan of gory things.
I don't like gore, but the way that this was done was, it was like laugh out loud kind of gore. It wasn't the kind of gore that really...
Yeah, it's not like Saw. It's not supposed to be scary or anything. It's just like,
and it wasn't...
look at that guy, he's got spikes in his head.
Absolutely fucked. And it wasn't the kind of one where they really dwelled on anyone in particular pain.
Yeah, it wasn't like... you didn't feel any of the emotion behind the gore. It was just
It was just, this guy's got no arm now.
Most of them already didn't have limbs anyway, so...
Exactly. You know, in Monty Python, where there's that knight who's like, "'Tis but a scratch," and he gets like one limb chopped off. Yeah. Same kind of deal for me. It's like, it's almost funny the way that it's like his arm just goes off.
Yeah.
Like,
It was great. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. So this is the thing with Wolverine, is he's supposed to be such a like aggressive and Wolverine. Like he's supposed to be like an animal. And in all the previous films, he's just been so... Well, he's been tamer than he should be, and it should be gory for him. But no, I thought it was good in terms of that sense. In terms of the gore, I liked that.
That was cool. So it's clearly a lot later in his life. So Old Man Logan is the vibe. It's 2029, and there's this guy who says that. So the guy with the metal hand.
Yeah, the Reaver dude.
Yeah, so I got the vibe that I thought he was a mutant as well.
Yeah, no.
But he's just some guy with a metal hand.
Yeah, well, I mean,
so is that normal?
At the end, he was just like, "You should be paying respect. This guy wiped out the rest of your race." He's like clearly not a fan of mutants.
Yeah, clearly not. So is it just normal in 2029 to have robotic hands?
I don't think it's normal. Because it looks like, they're like special hired mercenaries working for like obviously what's quite a big corporation that has a lot of money. So maybe it's like a department of that corporation that's developed these.
But then right at the start of the film, just before he starts chatting to Logan when he's at the hospital, just before he goes into his car, which, to be fair, he should have left the locks down on his car. If you've just parked somewhere, you're going to lock all the doors, aren't you? Logan gets back in his car, and then this guy just walks into the back of his car.
I thought he was already in his car. You lock your car when you're in your car.
I don't have all of the rest of the doors open.
You can lock the rest of the doors. I'm showing how shit my car is now.
To be fair, I don't have central locking inside my car at all.
Wait, so you just literally lock all the doors individually?
No, because when I open one door, none of the rest of them open.
Oh, okay, yeah, of course, right. That's central locking. So actually, you're showing how shit your car is.
Ah, yes. Good.
I've got central locking, but I've only got 2 doors.
Well, yeah, sorry about that. So anyway, as an old dude at the start of the film, he's looking all right for an old guy. He's still ripped,
Yeah.
He's still got loads of muscles, so he's still looking fine.
He's real old as well. He was, I'm going to get this wrong, but he was like 1800s or something like that. That's when he was born.
What?
Yeah, like if you watch Wolverine or Origins, can't remember which one, I think it's Origins, it does a whole period of him, because he fought in like World War II, and he's like basically been like a little warrior dude through like history. And that's what I think that's the thing we're bringing back to Charles. Why he's so important and pivotal part of such a driving part of the story is because Charles took him from being like a warrior and being just like ruthless and having no real like reason to do anything and like being lost, and he like gave him a purpose. And he's like, for the amount of years he's lived, this small chunk in respect to his life has been drastically changed by this one man. And, people are trying to take this man away from him, and he's trying to battle with the idea that, eventually this guy is actually going to have to die because of what's going on with him. That's why I think, that's the emotion behind it. You can, I thought it was conveyed pretty well in terms of like how much he cared for Charles.
Okay, I've got beef with Professor X.
Cool.
My beef is that, first of all, I would have thought that if his mind is so sick, then he can mind himself out of a wheelchair. Therefore, he can mind himself out of his Alzheimer's, which he has in this film. And so he doesn't need to take all them pills. That's my thing. And therefore, he can be way more useful in this film. What does he do that's useful in this film? The only useful thing.
Anything useful. That's the point, though. He's shit now.
Listen, the only useful thing in this film that he does is control some horses.
Lose my horses. Come over here, horses.
And this fucking guy can't speak Spanish. So you're telling me, Professor X is so mad with his head.
True.
He's so mad with his brain, he can control things. When he has a seizure, everyone's everyone loses their shit and they freeze and their body is fucked and all of this. But he can't learn Spanish from a kid.
Okay.
But he can control horses.
Maybe
how does that work?
Right. I mean, so you're really hungry and you're driving down the motorway and you haven't had dinner yet and it's late.
Yeah.
You're hungry. You see the lights of McDonald's and well, I mean, you wouldn't have McDonald's, but let's pretend you're just a normal person for a second. And I mean, you see that and you're like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get McDonald's. I think it's more of a case of he was like being suggestive. He's suggestive mind waves. He's not going, oh, Mr. Horsey, hello, what's your name? Oh, my name is Winnie. and the horse is, and he's like, oh, would you mind if you just came over here, please? And they're like, yeah, okay, that's no problem, Mr. Horseman. It's great that you can speak to me. That's wonderful. I haven't spoken to anyone in a while. Yeah.
So, right.
But also on the point of like minding himself out of a wheelchair, he isn't like he can't regenerate his body. Like that's like he's got like a spinal issue there. He can't like mind trick his body into being healed.
You're telling me that no doctors in the world could have healed that?
Yeah, I don't really know much about the background of his. I'm going off of one of the films. I can't remember, First Class or when they rebooted it, and it was you know that one? The actor Mabababu?
He's my guy.
Yeah. McConaughey is not McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey?
No, it's not. It's the Scottish one. What's his name? He did that film Split recently.
I haven't even heard
People
of that
listening
film.
are going crazy now.
I haven't even heard of that film.
What else is he in? He's Scottish. He's anyway, we'll add it in post. He gets shot in the back of the back with a bullet, which was redirected by a Magneto or something
here's
like that.
a question. Where is the front of the back?
Ooh.
That's a question for you. Is it your spine?
Well,
because the spine goes through the middle of you, not at the back of you. So maybe the spine...
But you can see the spine in some people when they bend.
But that still goes... When you're standing straight, that thing goes right through the middle of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is the middle of your back the spine? Because any more forwards than that is definitely your front. So the front of the back surely is going to be the spine, because the back of the back is going to be your skin.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a matter of perspective, and I think we'll leave it there.
Okay. Moving on. Logan has a limp throughout the whole film. So, as I guess to suggest that he's getting old. How did he get that limp? I would like to know. Also,
why does he need glasses? That seems like such an odd thing for like to just show that he's getting old. It's like he had to put, and the thing is, he picked up some like what's it called? Some like the shop ones that are just like always for reading and never very specific at all. Like how comes? I don't know. I guess when you get old, you do need glasses, but. I don't know. It was just an odd thing to see. Like, is he aging? Is that what's happening? Well, I guess he is.
I don't know. It's a bit silly, and also he goes into a shop. Okay, I feel like we've skipped loads of stuff. So let's give a bit of background of like the first half hour of the film. There's this woman called Gabriella. She was a nurse in the...
Spoilers, by the way.
I
know. I'm going to do it every time, though.
Okay, all right, okay. Okay, so she was a nurse in the company that harbored these kids.
Yeah.
And they made essentially test tube babies and raised them in this building.
They weren't test tube babies, though. They were born out of women.
Okay, so they got...
I always picture test tube babies as in like a baby that's grown inside a test tube. But
okay.
I mean, babies are bigger than test tubes.
Anyway, so they were born inside a Mexican woman, and the male DNA came from the, I guess, Wolverine and whoever. They got all.
Yeah, they had some Iceman DNA, didn't they, with the girl that could breathe
ice.
The ice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was a electric dude. Don't know what he does, and the rest. Actually, to be fair, I don't know. I didn't recognize any of the other powers, but
exactly. So. Anyway, and so they were raised these kids from birth, and these kids never saw the sun or rain or anything. And long story short, they broke all of these kids out of
the institution,
and these kids are running away.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. But this woman, Gabriella, she's running away with Laura, who is Wolverine's kid, right? And what Gabriella does is she has on her phone a video that she took inside the institution explaining what's going on. And Wolverine discovers this video when he returns to Laura and Gabriella's flat, motel, whatever, after Gabriella's been killed. And he looks at this video and watches like the first minute and a half of it. It runs out of battery. They buy a phone charger from the shop, and this is the reason why I wanted to come back to this scene. The phone takes so long to charge that it's nightfall before they can watch it
and
again.
it's a case of like the phone actually, you know, when you've run out, you've got your iPhone, you run out of battery, it's been dead for a while, you plug it in, it does that little thing where it's like, oh, I'm still not quite there, I just need a few minutes before I'm functional.
Right, it's charging,
and
but it's
in
not
that
on.
state for literally, like, they start charging it, or we don't see them start
It's
charging
probably like 3 p.m. by the time that they're charging it.
Yeah, I'd say, it's about sort of noonish, it's the late afternoon.
Well, okay, noonish is not late afternoon.
I don't know when noon is.
Early afternoon?
Is that 12?
Yes.
It's noon 12.
Obviously.
I don't know.
Because then
Why
afternoon...
would I ever need to know what
Did you go
noon
to primary
means?
school?
I did.
Yeah, so you would have learnt that 12
They just taught
o'clock...
us how to read the time.
Yeah, 12 o'clock midday is noon. And then after that point,
Afternoon.
Afternoon...
Oh.
How have you only just realised that? Oh, welcome to Revelations with Jordan Deere. Bloody hell.
Thanks for giving the listeners my last name. They're all going to find me now.
Oh. Yeah.
Love me.
Anyway, yeah, so this phone takes forever to charge, and you made a very good observation when watching this film that in the video, she's somehow...
Yeah, she's edited it.
She's edited the video. So it's like on her phone, she's got like Movie Maker or something.
Yeah.
Where...
She's obviously in such a rush to hide this child, but, you know, while they've got downtime, she might as well edit this video. It's obviously a really important video. She might as well just, you know, oh, that's a good scene, actually. Cool.
She's a hobbyist videographer. Yeah. That's what she does. So she's...
Nurses famously have a lot of free time.
Oh, you know, whilst they're balancing their...
the mutant children and...
Of course, they're balancing the mutant children. Yeah. You know, video.
Yeah, they're quite light.
And so she clips together all of these different shots, and also does a voiceover. So I could just imagine her in this motel, like doing a clip of her.
Yeah.
And these children never saw the sun or the rain.
Hello and welcome to Gabriella's. Oh, that wasn't quite right. Let me try again.
Exactly, yeah. She's trying to get the levels on her thing.
Yeah. Hashtag Gabriella's reasons.
Yeah, so, and there's a perfectly, I mean, really, really well done. If you're watching this and I have died, oh, sorry, I didn't say that.
if you're watching this, I have died.
I have been died. Wait, a second. I'm Mexican. I'm not supposed to. Wait.
Where were you going with that one?
I'm not supposed to have a brilliant accent with this.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how much she was acting on this. I don't know if it's the actor.
No, it is. She's in the new black one is Orange.
Orange is the new.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. The black one is Orange.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Is she? Okay.
Yeah, no, and she sounds the same in that. I don't think she's putting on an accent.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't worry about that.
I just want to quickly look online to find...
But where she's from?
No.
Okay.
It's... Alright, Laura...
Yeah.
Looks like a contestant from Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, yeah, you said that. Yeah, okay. So a little bit of background here. We love watching Hell's Kitchen. This isn't a sponsorship, by the way. You know, Gordon Ramsay, just...
What a guy.
What a guy. I think when I was talking to one of my friends, and they were saying about how, you know, the difference between Hell's Kitchen and Kitchen Nightmares because Hell's Kitchen just gives you all the bits that you want, which is just Gordon Ramsay shouting at people. Whereas Hell's Kitchen Nightmares, sometimes he's nice, and you don't really want that. Like, I mean, there's minimal amounts of that in Hell's Kitchen, so that's I think why we're a fan. But yeah, if you haven't watched Hell's Kitchen, as soon as you finish watching, listening to this, just stop. In fact, stop now and go and watch an episode. Keiran will tell you what episode, and then you can come back and listen to it and go, oh, I know what these guys are talking about now because that's what she looks like. And apparently Keiran is awful at Googling because...
Well, it's quite hard to find the specific people. I feel like I'm nearly
Do you even
there.
know what series it was from?
No. But I'm getting there.
Shot in the dark, isn't it?
Because I'm so determined that this woman really, really, really looks like this girl, but I'm going to spend
I feel like she looked a bit like... have you ever watched any of the Scary Movies?
Nah. Sorry.
Jeez, okay. So you haven't even seen like Date Movie or Epic Movie or any of those stupid
Nope.
ones? What else has this woman been in?
I'm definitely going to check this out afterwards because this is really, really, really annoying me.
Yeah, so check out Twitter for the image. You can find us at 250 Reasons.
Okay, there's this point where Logan goes to see Professor X and all of that. He crosses the border. He's on his phone. 6 points on your license for that. Straight off the bat, like straight away, you would be done for that. Okay, I don't know what the rules are in America, but that's what it's like over there.
We should entitle this segment "Things That We Noticed That Are Just Silly."
Yep. Okay.
No, right. So I've got a couple. Laura was in the boot of the car. Yeah. When he went to go and see Gabriella, she's dead. He comes back and he gets out of the car. The boot's open and Laura's jumped out. Tell me, Keiran, how do you open a boot from the inside?
Well, if you've got claws in your hand, you can probably undo the lock.
Oh, yeah, I did think of that as a reason. I was hoping you wouldn't pick up on that one. Next one. Why did they hire stormtroopers for their special ops people? Like, why can't they hit anything?
Oh my god, they're so bad!
Why can't they shoot?
There's this point. Okay, so we don't know what power Laura has yet, and they're in the ranch. Or no, not the ranch. They're
the power of confusion. I can't see it. Where is it? I can't shoot it.
So these Black Ops people who have, I don't know, Black Ops, Special Ops people, they go inside the place where Stephen Merchant's character and Professor X are, and Laura's just there eating cornflakes and
looking real ominous as well. I liked that. That was real cool.
She's
just sitting
cool.
there eating her cereal and these guys are walking in.
Although she's definitely eating dry cornflakes. I don't know what that's
about. There was
about.
milk in there.
You sure?
There was milk in there. I saw it drip off the...
okay. They look pretty dry to me.
No, there was milk
Maybe
in there. But yeah, no, I liked that scene. I thought that was really cool. She just looked really badass. I think in general, that actor really nailed it. I mean,
I thought she was really
considering she didn't say anything for like
half the film.
Yeah, no, she was cool.
Yeah. Okay, but I reckon when they were filming that, they must have had to use so many bowls of cornflakes because how soggy do cornflakes get after about 5 minutes?
Yeah, no, I think I remember hearing a story about how like. There was a famous scene. This is going to be really good because I'm not going to remember any of the actual important information to convey the story. But there was like an important scene, a very famous scene or something where an actor had to like eat something while they were talking, and they did like so many shots of it, and literally like he was just feeling sick by the end of it because he had to just keep eating this like cake or something or pie while they were in like a diner, and it was just like. Went on for so long and he just like never ate the same thing again. I think I might have made that last bit up, but yeah.
Cool, sick story. Okay. All right. Stephen Merchant, his character.
Yeah, let's talk about Stephen Merchant for a second.
Oh, okay. What's his character's name first of all?
Caliban.
Yeah.
Why isn't he funny? Stephen Merchant is a funny man. Make him funny.
Why?
Put him in a film if he's not going to be funny.
He has like one or two quips.
And they're not good.
The quip is, I'm not really sure if you can class it as a quip, but the one funny line is he says something that pisses Logan off. Logan smacks his mug out of his hand.
Favourite mug.
That was my favourite mug. Okay, so it's Stephen Merchant. We have to make it really obvious that he's English.
Yeah.
And why?
I'll just go and fetch him some spotted dick, shall I?
Yeah, exactly.
Come
Why
on.
does Stephen Merchant have to be from Bristol all the time. Be from somewhere else than the West Country.
Is
for
that
God's
actually where
sake.
he's from, though? Wow. That might explain
West
why
Country.
he always sounds like that.
Well, he's legit from the West Country. Like,
Okay.
you can tell from his accent. Come on.
Yeah.
But like, it's called acting, mate. Put on a bloody voice.
Yeah.
Because surely, like, the people, X-Men people, went up to all of the other actors. Or okay, I want you to be
All of them. They went through every single actor.
single one. I want you, Black Ops person, to not be able to shoot anyone. I want you, other Black Ops person, to look like Tweedle fucking Dung, because that guy looked like an idiot. The first guy who went into that building.
Well, you can't have special op people looking like competent. That just doesn't work.
It's either they look incompetent or they have masks on.
Yeah.
All right, okay. And they went up to the Gabriella woman. All right, I want you to look like you're crying all the time. I want you, Logan, to look like you're hassled all the time. I want
Just
you
hassled.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
always hassling.
But Stephen Merchant, you be from Bristol.
Yeah.
That makes so dumb. Why?
And Patrick Stewart, just do whatever you want.
Yeah, you do your thing. You be spaced out all the time. We have to save Laura. You have to save Laura. And Logan's like, I know. I'm trying to run away from all of these Black Ops people. I'm trying.
Logan, you're not listening to me. We need to save
We need to save Laura. I'm literally driving a car right now.
You have a seizure.
I'm rolling you. Oh, you need some rest. You need some rest. We're getting shot at. Oh. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Stephen Merchant, idiot.
Absolute idiot.
What are you doing in... I've even written here, what the fuck is Stephen Merchant doing in a DC film?
You want people to know that you just messed that up.
pretty much do.
I liked the futuristic elements that they added to it in terms of the driverless trucks, and did you see
cool.
with the like self-automated harvesters in the background when they were in the farm, because he was saying he was just like, they may look big but they've got tiny brains or something like that, and it's just like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like they've developed like what's it called, harvesters that don't need manning.
That's pretty neat, because I like how it's only 2029.
Yeah.
Like, what is that, 12 years in the future?
Yeah.
So they've not done like mad
10 years after Blade
advancements.
Runner.
Nah.
Yeah, 2019 that was.
Oh yeah, because the next one's 2049.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I reckon they've been somewhat realistic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they kept their window wipers to the right size.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
As in, they kept window wipers. That's good. No flying cars.
No.
That's good.
It was subtle. I liked it. It wasn't like in your face. The dash on the Chrysler was pretty cool. That was all like digital, but I mean, that's probably a thing that is around now anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But like that was pretty cool. I liked that. It had his little ID badge thing on it as well, I think, which was quite cool.
That was pretty
Yeah, there was a couple of little futuristic things in there.
That could just be his Uber ID, though.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much what he was, wasn't he? Just a glorified Uber driver.
Yeah, because I thought he was the driver for a
the
big
escort
country
version. If he is to Uber as an escort is to a prostitute.
Well, it would be like, what do you have now? You've got like Uber X, Uber XL, Uber Executive, Uber Escort. Yeah.
Uber Logan.
Uber,
Just a picture of his face, like looking really grumpy. Oh, you don't want to drive with me. No, seriously, you don't want to drive with me. People that drive with me get hurt.
But give me $5 though. Do you mind if
I need to buy a boat.
Do you mind if I call my wife?
Yeah, what was his plan there? I mean, he was just like, yeah, Logan, we're gonna buy a boat. No, I'm Logan. Charles, we're gonna buy a boat and we're gonna go out to sea and we're gonna live out on the sea. Oh, will you be safe? Yeah, I'll be safe at the sea. I love the sea.
Because we all know that wolves do great on the sea.
I will stock up on beans. It'll be great.
And I could open them all with my 3 claws.
Yeah, and then you'll die and I'll just kick your body out to the ocean.
And
hey, man, wait, because he said when he was burying him, he was like, oh, there's water. And he was like struggling to speak, wasn't he? He was trying to say some stuff when he buried him. He's like, oh, there's water. And he just couldn't get it out. But maybe that was his idea the whole time. He's just going to kick him out into the sea.
I was thinking, stupidly, that every single time he said, he'll have water, is for his pills. Like, he'll have water for his pills.
No, it was so that Aquaman can take him to Atlantis in the world of DC. So everyone knows The C is the portal between DC and Marvel. C.
That's the one. Okay. All right. Cool. This whole thing about blah 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 blah. I thought, well, oh yeah. At one point, he says "fuck off, Logan," which is really funny.
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck off, Logan.
That's pretty good. Gabriella says that Logan, you have to go with her. We can't go with anyone else apart from you.
Didn't make any sense, did it? Really?
Just
go.
Just get a taxi.
Yeah, she just waited around for ages and then could have just gone.
Exactly.
I mean, Laura was pretty capable of handling herself, to be honest. She started taking on what's his name, X-24, the bad Logan.
Absolutely
And,
screwing him over.
Yeah, didn't actually get hit once.
No.
So,
She got thrown to the ground at one point.
she got thrown to the ground, but he didn't even I feel like one swipe of the claws would have just clean taken her head off. So, she's small. So
That's a good point.
I think maybe for the purposes of making the film fair and not looking bad, but they killed quite a few kids in this film.
Did they kill kids?
I think they did.
No, they never.
Yeah, they killed
kids.
one. Like they killed the one at the house, like the farm people.
Oh,
he got shot.
That was so deep.
No, they definitely killed some kids.
What, as in the special kids?
Yeah, they killed some of the special kids. Some of the special kids died.
Did they?
I swear, no, not in like when they were rounding them all up at the end, but like in the film, in the edited film that Gabriella did. I'm pretty sure they must have captured.
They probably did.
Put some to sleep.
There must have been some mad
police.
disclaimer at the end of that film saying we didn't actually kill any kids.
The disclaimer at the end of that film was that it made jobs.
Oh yeah, there was a big thing at the end that was like, we created 15,000 jobs.
Yeah, we scrolled to the end hoping to see the little stinger at the end to catch the little what's happening next. And it's like, jobs is what's happening next. We're great.
Yeah.
In conclusion, are you staying indoors for this one or are you going outside?
It's tough. I'll probably stay indoors. We haven't even touched on how much of an arsehole, well, we maybe have, but Logan's a real massive arsehole. So even though I don't like him, and I don't like watching films where I don't like one of the main characters, I'd probably still stay indoors.
Yeah, I mean, I hate Wolverine as a character. Maybe not so much hate him, but I hate the fascination that maybe all of the movie companies, all the big movie men, how they I'm so sick of seeing like films centered around Wolverine. You've got X-Men 1 was basically about Wolverine joining the team. Then there was some crap about Phoenix Saga, which apparently I think they messed up. Yeah, you're not going to know that. But then they did X-Men Origins Wolverine, and then they did the Wolverine, and then now there's it's like, just stop. I don't care. But this one, I actually liked. This is conveniently the one where he dies is the one I'm okay with. Yeah. So I would stay indoors for this one. I'd strongly stay indoors for this one. Ooh. I liked this film. I thought it was a good film.
Okay. Quickly, just before we finish.
Okay.
Something that we didn't mention. Tits and films.
Tits and films.
So, I mean, we'll do the exact same thing for dicks in films. Go on.
Tits and films.
2.
There were 2. One pair, but 2.
Yes, that's right. And that's how we're going to do it. Because sometimes you see one single tit. And sometimes you might see one single ball. So we'll do account for all of them, but I'll keep it.
We'll just have a genitalia tab. Keeping tab of your genitalia.
Yeah.
I think I have to make a rap out of that. That's nice. I like that. Genitalia tab.
Cool.
In my chicken kebab.
In a chicken kebab.
Yeah, genitalia tab in my chicken kebab. So stay indoors. Hey, so that was our podcast. If you think you've got a better 15-second pitch than the crap that Keiran spouted out of his mouth, then email it in to 250reasons at Google G.
At Google G.
At GoogleG.com.
At GoogleG.com. And if that one bounces back, just send another one to 250reasons@gmail.com.
Nailed it.
And then you want to go over to social media, just that big puddle of media, that social that everyone's swimming around in, and you just type at 250 reasons because it sounds cool and it works. And we got them. We got there before anyone else did. We got it. It's ours now. So if you want to leave us a tweet, an Instagram picture, I don't know how social media works, a Facebook, yell at 250 reasons. And then don't forget to subscribe to the podcast at iTunes or Acast or somewhere else. I'm sure it'll be there. And just leave a 5-star glowing review because it was probably a really, really good time for you, I'm sure.